Hello, everyone. This is Man of Lawful coming back with another video talking about Gotham Knights, the video game. And I'm also going to talk about maybe briefly, or maybe more, I'm not sure, about the Gotham Knights CW show that premiered, I believe, last week. At this point of this recording, I've only seen the pilot episode of that show. I got some thoughts. Um, and I'm going to talk about. But first, I'm going to talk about this video game. This this video game, in my opinion, not bad. It's a pretty good video game. I mainly want to talk about, when in regards to the video game, I mainly want to talk about the IGN review of this video game and like kind of like how that was. I don't know what the hell was going on at IGN with that review. They they released all these videos leading up to the release of this game, talking about everything that was in this game. Like, so before you you played demo versions of the game, like before the game came out, you knew what the game was. You knew what was in that game. Okay, even just maybe if it was just like a little bit of it, you knew what was in that game, and you knew how it was gonna turn out. So when the review comes out, they go in and they talk all this junk about the game, saying that it, talking about like how they had to grind for certain things and how it sucked. And I'm like, it's an RPG. RPGs are grind. You have to grind in RPGs sometimes. That's how they work. We all know that. You know that. That's how that works. There was they talked about when they got to like the leader of the Court of Owls. They got to the leader of the Court of Owls. They said like it was way too easy to figure out who the leader of the Court of Owls was. I'm like, okay, you know who else it was easy to find out? It was also easy to find out that Jason Todd was the Arkham Knight. It was like it was incredibly difficult. It was not incredibly difficult. It was incredibly easy to figure that out. I figured that out at Ace Chemicals. That Jason Todd was the Arkham Knight. Like, come on. Like, you had to have not been paying attention to not realize Jason Todd was Arkham Knight. Very easy. And again, when it comes down to like the combat, and I'm like, well, that's an RP. That's how RPG combat is. I'm like, this is how a control. This is how the control screen, how the control scheme for RPGs, for combat in RPGs works. Because you have to map out. You have to map out like the basic attacks, the basic attack, long range attack, and then the special abilities. Like all RPGs work like that. It's a little bit easier with a mouse and keyboard setup. It's a little bit more difficult with a controller setup though. But it's like that's how combat in RPGs works, especially with a controller. Like if it's like I played it, like I didn't have a problem with it. I'm like, yeah, this is how RPG works. The only thing I had a problem with is because I kept remembering how the dodge worked in Arkham. And I kept forgetting that like, oh wait, it's not the same thing here. This is a different game. That's not the dodge button. This is the dodge button. in the beginning. Like I haven't had that problem since. Um, once I got used to it, but that was like the only problem I had with the controls, man. The only one. Then, excuse me. Also, I believe this game, Gotham Knights, was being compared unfairly to Arkham Asylum. Because again, IGN, you knew that this was going to be a completely different development team, completely different studio, a completely different universe than the Arkham games. You knew all of that, but you still came in with the review and compared it to Arkham Asylum and Arkham City and Arkham Knight and all that. You still compared it to everything. You still compared it to Arkham. And I think that's unfair because completely different people. Different people, different universe, different company. Why are we going to compare this to Arkham when we all know this is not an Arkham game? It's not. It will be fair to compare Suicide Squad to the Arkham games because that's the same company and it's the same universe. I don't know if it's going to be the same development team. I don't know. But it's going to be. But there's going to be like two of those things are going to be. Are guaranteed to be the exact same thing. So, comparing Suicide Squad to the Arkham universe, to the Arkham games, that's fair. Comparing Gotham Knight to the Arkham universe and to the Arkham games, not fair. In my opinion, not fair. So, I'm thinking like, dude, IGN, like, screw you guys. You don't know what you're, like, you screwed up on the review of Gotham Knights, in my opinion. You know, what are you guys doing? It's not the first time you screwed up on a review. I think you guys did the review. I think you guys did a review on Iron Fist a few years back, and I thought that review was terrible too. A lot of the critic reviews of that show were bad. They were unnecessarily harsh, and it seems like nobody understood the source material at all with that when they were writing the reviews. I say understand the source material because it's like Danny Rand was always white, and then they come out and say, "Oh, the show was whitewashed," and I'm like, "No, it wasn't, because you can't whitewash a character that has always been white. Like you have like you have no idea what you're talking about. You know, yeah." So that's short little rant on Iron Fist. Um, yeah. So okay, that's what I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say about the video game. I haven't finished the game yet. I haven't finished it yet because I just got it like last week. I got it last week. I haven't finished it yet, but so far, my opinion, it's a good game. I have no problems with it. Now, moving on to the TV show that premiered on CW last week. I don't know what they're doing with that. I'm gonna say this though. It does have it has a lot in common with the game. It's weird. Like they looked at the game and they picked some stuff out and they threw everything else out. Because in the show, the Court of Owls is in the show, which is kind of cool. I think this is going to be the first time we get to see the Court of Owls in live action, so that's kind of cool. I'm kind of excited about that, but then they don't have, like, the characters are a bunch of characters I've never heard of. Like, okay, apparently one character is the Joker's daughter. And there's a brother sister team whose names I don't remember. And then there's this girl who's calling herself Robin, who doesn't dress like a Robin. I don't know if she's from the comic. She might be from the comic books. I'm not sure. She might be from a newer comic book that I haven't read. And then the main character is a dude named Turner Hayes. And I was like, what? Who the fuck is Turner Hayes? I've never heard of that, but I've never heard that name before. Who is that? And I thought, when I looked at the poster for it, I thought he was going to be Damien because he's got a sword on his back. But he's not. And apparently, Bruce never told him he was Batman. You know, it starts out again in comparison to the game. It starts out with Bruce Wayne dead, wearing a cowl, wearing his cowl, but wearing a suit. Like, they put the cowl on him. Like, whoever killed him put the cowl on him and then shot him. Like, what? And that doesn't make any damn sense. Like, Batman getting killed by a gun? And not just any gun. The gun that, in this show, they say that Joe Chill used to kill his parents. Like, oh, what? Okay, one, I'm pretty sure. Okay, there's a lot of things that don't make sense. One, why did Bruce Wayne keep that gun loaded? That doesn't make any sense. Two, Bruce Wayne is trained enough to not get killed by a gun. That's another thing that to me that doesn't make any sense. Like, he would have, like, whoever came in, got that gun, he would have stopped them. So that didn't make any sense to me. And three, why was he wearing a cowl? He got shot out of a window, hit the ground, and he was wearing a cowl. That doesn't make any sense either. I'm hoping, as the show goes on, that all that gets explained. Because my theory is that Bruce knew that the Court of Owls were coming for him. He knew they were coming for him, and so he faked his own death. He faked his own death to get them off his trail. But if he faked it, faking his own death, but having no one to take the blame would look suspicious. So he set up those three people and his own son to take the fall for this, because he probably scouted those three people earlier, knew that if he teams them up with his son and Robin, it was in quotation fingers on that one, and Robin, that they could track down the Court of Owls and take them down. That's what I think. What I don't think is, I am about 99% sure that I'm wrong on that. That somebody got a gun, killed Bruce Wayne, exposing him as Batman, and then set all these people up to take the fall. Um, whether or not that was the Court of Owls is to be seen. Because doing all that seems very sloppy for the Court of Owls. It seemed very sloppy for them. But then in the end of the episode, we got the Talon showing up to kill one of the cops that was supposed to kill them before they reached Blackgate, killing the cop because he failed. So I'm like, so maybe the Court of Owls killed him. And now they just got to figure out who the Court of Owls are and expose it and take them down. I'm really hoping that it's like the show's a bit smarter than that. I'm really hoping this show is kind of smarter than that. They are also setting up, because judging by the poster, he had a sword on his back. They're setting up Turner Hayes to fight the Talon at some point. At some point in this show, Turner Hayes is going to fight the Talon. Whether or not he is going to beat the Talon, he probably won't. Because, again, they have set up that he's really good at fencing. So who knows? This is only episode 1. It didn't seem that strong, but then again, it might get better, like Velma did, in my opinion. Also, I want to point this out. Like, when they said that this was the Joker's daughter, my first thought was that, oh, the Joker and Harley Quinn had a kid. Turns out, no, that's not what happened. The Joker, according to her, had a wife or girlfriend in Arkham, and they had a kid while they were in Arkham. But then when the Joker met Harleen Quinzel, he left them behind in Arkham when he escaped. And it's like, I can't say that's something the Joker wouldn't do, because the Joker's a psychopath and he does a lot of messed up shit. So I can't really say that's not something he'd do, because it could be. But that seems like so weird that he had a kid in Arkham with another woman that wasn't Harley Quinn. That seems weird. That just seems weird to me. And on top of that, apparently she's insane, like the Joker. I'm like, well, and then my thing is, like, you probably get the insanity from your mother. Because the Joker was normal before he became the Joker. At least that's my iteration of the Joker. I know there's been like different versions of the Joker throughout the years, so that might not be your version of the Joker, but my version of the Joker was normal before he became the Joker. So, yeah, it's like, it's a weird show, and I was thinking to myself, like, how's that going to tie into James Gunn's thing? It probably isn't, because like he said in that video, everything else is going to, like, we're making our own universe, and then everything else is going to be in Elseworlds. This is in Elseworlds. This and Superman and Lois are both Elseworlds compared to their James Gunn's DC universe. So kind of a recap here. This game's good. The show's a bit iffy, and the similarities between this game and the show that just came out is that it has the Court of Owls in it, Bruce Wayne's dead, and now younger people are having to take up the fight. Kinda. I mean, in the show, kinda. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Excuse me. I don't know what's gonna happen with with it. I don't know what's gonna happen with the show. Hopefully, hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's good. They do a full run. You know, I'm really hoping I'm right, and Bruce Wayne faked his own death as a way to get the ball rolling on exposing the Court of Owls. I really hope that's what happens. But I don't know with these things. I don't know. All right. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut that there. Man of Lawful. That's me. This is my channel. Hit a like, hit the dislike, subscribe, leave a comment. If you watch the fucking CW show and you got some thoughts you want to share, read them. Like, write them down. I'll read them. I might reply to them. Just and tell your friends about this. Let's talk about it. Also, one thing I want to say is that I would have preferred, you know what I really would have preferred? I really would have preferred that they used the characters from the game. I would have liked to have seen Batgirl. I would have liked to have seen Batgirl, Nightwing, Red Hood, and Robin. Those versions of those characters in the show. That would have been better. I think that would have been better. I hate it when they do these shows. And it's mostly DC that does this. Marvel doesn't do it that much. But when DC makes a show like this, they tend to use the characters that everybody knows as like background characters, and then they put forward like all these characters that no one's ever heard of, probably, or like really niche characters that are like, that makes people like, why are they using that character? That no one knows who that is. Why are they using that character? I think the only time the only time they didn't do that was when they made the Titans when they made the Titans show on that's now on HBO Max. It's like, we all know these characters because we all used to watch Teen Titans. I know who every single one of these characters are. Like, they make Gotham Knights, they give you all these characters, like, I don't know any of you. Are any of you from the comics? Yeah, if you know if the characters are from the comics, write in the comments. Excuse me. Tell me the comic books that I should be reading to know who these characters are. That'd be something. Again, Man of Lawful. Hit the like, hit the dislike, subscribe, turn on notifications, and check out my other videos. Bye.